Hey everybody, welcome back to Shock and Schlock. I'm your host, Herschel Gillis, and today I'm having a change of location, so I'm sorry if there's any noise in the background. I'll be back tomorrow in my normal location. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2006 Ron DeCaro film, The Gateway Meat, part of the Brightside trilogy. Scratch that's 2008, I believe. Um, it's sort of an infamous gore indie horror film. I've had a couple of people request it. I've seen it in the past, watched it again, and I've got some thoughts about it. I'm not a huge fan, say that right off the bat. But what's the film about? Well, it's about this man whose father dies, and he moves into his house. His father was a devil worshiper, and so was he, presumably, obviously, throughout the film. Um, if you watch this, you'll find that the plot is really loose, and this is sort of me interpreting it. Um, so he moves into this house trying to make a portal to hell by killing various people with his wife and child, which is part of the controversy there because the director of the film used his real daughter in the film, who was a toddler at the time. But she's not in any of the gore parts or anything. Any part that she's in, the dialogue is kind of questionable occasionally. It's not something that I would totally condone, obviously, but it's not as offensive as a lot of people are making it out to be. Um, it's going to be probably a pretty short video because it's going to be a negative review. um, the acting in this all around completely shoddy. I don't know what they were doing. This really felt like the director just got a group of his friends together to make a movie, and none of them had any acting experience. Um, the music, very vanilla, not great. The sound effects used are horrible. There is this weird, radio static that plays every once in a while that's supposed to be like transmissions from hell or something, but it's so irritating that it distracted me throughout the film every time it came up. I absolutely hated it. It was like nails on a chalkboard, and it's the same sound every time, like looped, and it sounds like a sample, and I just really did not like that. I get that it's low budget, but can you at least mix up the sound if you're going to have it? I'd prefer you not to have it at all, but the fact that it's the same 3 second loop multiple times just irritates me to an unknown degree. Um, yeah. The cinematography is extremely basic. It looks like a film made by a film student, which I can forgive sometimes in indie films, but this time it's just so boring to look at, and there's parts where it's filmed in his house the majority of the time, which is another thing that I appreciate when the movie is fun. Like, if it's a B movie and it's supposed to be silly and it's filmed in somebody's house, it's completely fine. I mean, it's not fine, but you get past it, or it's part of the charm of it. This is not a charming movie. It tries to be very extreme. They definitely went into this trying to make something disturbing, like August Underground or some pseudo snuff movie, and this is not. The one thing that I can say about this film that is positive are the special effects are great. I believe DeCaro did them himself. Would love to see his work in other films. He does a great job with the special effects. They're all practical. They all look great. The kills are pretty brutal in the film as well, so the special effects will into that. The thing is, during these death scenes, the acting during them is pretty awful, as is throughout the rest of the thing, so nobody's believable. But the special effects themselves, I do have to applaud him for that. Wish he just stuck to that and worked on other movies, because they would be better, because he's really good at special effects, but the acting is bad. The cinematography is plain. The sound effects and soundtrack are both very generic. The static sound just gets on my nerves. Um, the other thing that I don't care for about the film is the writing itself. So, a film has a plot, and it tries to be a horror movie, and it should be straightforward, but it's completely not, because there are just things that just sort of happen. Scenes are kind of loosely thrown together. Characters are introduced with no names. Yeah, it's just a big mess. It's such a jumble. And it was disappointing the first time I watched this film, because it's kind of held in sort of regard in underground cinema. Or at least people are saying, this is one of the most disturbing movies of all time. Never trust those. Anytime anybody says that, they're overhyping it. most of the time. This is one of those times. It's not disturbing. It's just, ugh. Good special effects, but that's about it for this one. I was just so disappointed. I expected this, like, the initial, like, premise, the promise of the film of delivering this cult movie of devil worshippers killing in a house trying to open a portal to hell sounds cool. And the special effects are great, so, like, if you see images from this, they look awesome. But the film is just horrible away from the special effects, and I cannot recommend it to anybody. But if you do want to watch it, well, in that case, too, it's very difficult. They made a very limited run of these on DVD and VHS. You can probably watch it on Effed Up Movies, I'm sure. I watched a friend's copy, but yeah. It's a film that's pretty hard to find, and I don't care that it's that way because it's really bad. I don't recommend it to anybody, and, you know, this lower production video kind of serves to my thoughts on it. It's just not great. Honestly, the cinematography for this, with me looking off the side of the camera instead of straight forward at you guys the entire time, is better than the entire thing there, including the closet. The clothes in this closet have more character development than most of the characters in the movie. It's bad. I don't recommend it. But tomorrow I'm going to be talking about a film that I did really enjoy. I'm going to have a better setup tomorrow as well, so I hope you all return and forgive me for this little delay. I still wanted to record a video today when I was out of town, so yeah. I'm going to be talking about Girl Hell 1999, made by the same director as Muzan E, which I talked about previously. It's a great movie. Looking forward to talking about that. And if you want to watch that, it's much easier to find online. So yeah, check it out if you want to before I review it, so you can see my thoughts and if you agree with me or not. So yeah, come back tomorrow for that. As always, though, 0 thoughts, 0 planning. Really 0 planning today. 0 editing and 0 brain cells. I've been your host, Herschel Gillis. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Keep your notifications on, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.